tutuchinola we, hapaunare yoni, hanetwishe yame, hapaunare yoni. I have memories of being left, my sister and me, in abandoned houses as my parents would go look for work and food, and houses that, you know, rain would seep in, and we would sleep there, just my sister and I. And she was, I was only about 5 years old, and my sister was about 7. And so to this day, you know, I see my sister, as my older sister Eloise, as my savior, because without her I don't think I would have survived. So we crossed the border into the United States in 1956, September of 1956, and again my parents had to go and look for work, and so we were eventually taken away and put into an orphanage for 5 years. And to my dad's credit, my mom's credit, they would try and come and see us every weekend. So it wasn't an easy childhood, but I feel like what I like to say is put everything on your altar and honor it. You know, the shadow and the grief and the blessings and the light. And so that's what I feel has made me who I am today. When we came on this land, you know, my husband and I, we took a prayer. And before we even moved in, and that prayer is that, you know, we would have this land for our relatives, you know, to be able to come and when they needed it, you know, to receive help, you know, in any way they needed it, whether through Sweat Lodge or whether through the Native American Church or whether through our Huichol relatives, you know. So that was a prayer, you know, that we had, that to be of service to people. And I feel really blessed. I feel really, really blessed to be able to live here and to be able to offer it, you know, to our relatives.
That's my husband, and this is Joanna's party. She was going to a beginning of a graduation thing or something. This is Joanne, my daughter, and this is me, and that's my boy that died at 42, and this is my little Michael that got killed on the corner. I have one daughter, Joanne, alive, and I lost 3 boys. I've lived here a long time. I raised the children here. I raised the mothers, then I raised their children. So right now in this area, I am just called Grandma Lucy or Auntie Lucy. I've got a heart for people that are no homeless, and, you know, I need to help. But Mother is the one that taught me these things. I took a lot of children in because they'd come from school and they just loved me. They'd meet me outside. Sometimes they would walk from the corner and they'd ask my son, "Can I go into your mommy's house?" Did you go see my mom anytime? So he brought them. The strength that I have is from, I honestly believe, I just believe in God, so. And I think with my prayers, and I'd say, please let me go on. Please let me be right that I can help. Don't let me fall back. I have brothers and sisters that's going to need me. My mother always said, "You're the youngest, so do all you can for them. You are the youngest."
I was born in Bernal, New Mexico. My brother, we used to have a racehorse. And they used to have races and everything, you know, on Sundays. And then when the horse won, our horse won, they would bring him with music to the house and have a party. Last year they had mariachis for me for my birthday. We used to pray the rosary every night, you know, and we had the church right across the street from us. I know that a miracle happened with my sister. You know, she had TB, and the doctors told her that the lungs had collapsed, and my mother was praying a novena to Santa Marta, and the day that she got through praying the novena, the doctors came and told her that everything was all right. Un día a la vez, Dios mío, es lo que quiero de ti. Ayúdame hoy para poder vivir un día a la vez.
Everything that Mother Earth gives to us is a gift. Clay in its raw form is a gift to us, and then we do what we do with it to make it more beautiful. All potters, as far as I know, say a little prayer in thanks before we begin to dig. Our grandmothers, our aunts, some aunts in the neighborhood, women would all get together and work in pottery. They would take it and go sell it at the depot in Albuquerque. This was like when I was maybe 6, 7, 8 years old or so. During the summer, we'd go with them to help them sell. But for the most part, they travel back and forth between Isleta and Albuquerque to do their selling. And that's how I learned about pottery making. I love doing it. It's just like a cook likes cooking, so I love doing my work. And I don't really, I might be planning for a show maybe. I'll put in 2 up to 14 hours at times I've done in the studio, depending on what's going on in my life. As a Pueblo member, we're all a large community, and if something is going on within we have large extended families, something happens, then we have to drop what we're doing and go take care of that or help people out that need help. In any art form that anyone does, a lot of this is included in it. So, and that's the way it is with Native American artists. Part of us goes with our work.
If you know how many core mothers we have on earth, it's the people who really give the soil and everything to the custom, to the tradition, to keep together the community. But believe me, everything I do with my heart because I love the cultures. And the Indian people, they say, talk with yourself. We talk with our conscience. And they say, talk with your life. And after that, they told me, or they teach me, talk with your life, how you imagine your life. Ask her, which is your way. Talk, always talk with your life. Because it's great, it's beautiful, and you are going to learn. And I follow the discipline. And we travel in many, many corners in Mexico. And from those little corners, I always escape from my poor mother, and I go look for the indigenous people, rural people, to learn, to bring. I guess I was very curious because I like to see how they cook, how they sleep, how they make the things, because everything they make by hand, you know. And I try to imitate them. And this is, life helped me to learn a lot of things with my hands. And it says, I love to be an aircraft lady because I learned how to make a basket, how to make a backstrap loom, how to make flowers with every kind of materials, many things. I love embroidered. I love every stitch come from Mexico because right here I have a group of ladies who follow me, and I love to do that because I feel we won't lose this tradition. My life is try to keep the tradition alive. Food, embroidered, weaving, basketry, clay, everything we can remember what we learned when we were young.
My grandmother is Valeria. And Valeria was a person who had the greatest impact on the adult I became. She was a head nurse in a children's hospital in Norfolk, Virginia. And she would always have pies or cake available for snacking. And while we were eating, she would tell me about her job at the hospital. And I wanted to go to that place, that magical place where broken bones were healed and sick children were made well. Well, Valeria told me that that was not possible. Hospital regulations did not allow children to enter until they were 12. On my 12th birthday, guess where I was? At the doors of the Children's Hospital with Valeria. Valeria wisely assigned me the job of reading stories to children who were bedridden, and I loved doing that. Because of Valeria, I was exposed to experiences that I never otherwise would have had in my life. Valeria gave me an opportunity to be a volunteer in the Children's Hospital. Because of the work of the doctors, nurses, and other staff in the hospital, I decided that I wanted a career in the medical arena. Making a better place for the world starts with the individual, and the individual is me. And if each individual in the world would realize that peace, love of the fellow man, caring, started with him or her, our world would be a better place in which to live.
They're going, my God, there is a huge new herd. Oh, yeah. They're herd animals. They work together. They're like people. I got here because I was apprenticed to the second potter. The first potter I was apprenticed to was Manna. And we moved from Colorado, from Denver, Colorado, to Paradise, a place in the southeastern corner of Arizona. And then I became apprenticed to another potter when we moved our studio to the Rincons, to the corner of the Rincons. And that potter was Tivo Sasante. And he wanted to buy land where we could grow our own food. And he, like my first mentor, believed in teaching what he did so that others could learn it. And it was just sort of a whole alternative learning situation. This was the late 60s, early 70s. So in 1970, we started knocking, 69 actually, we started knocking on doors in the valley because this is fertile ground. This is the bottom of the watershed. And one of the ranchers said, yeah, well, Pete Kelly's got some land for sale. And he had split up a homestead that was the Villa homestead. And so we bought 35 acres here in 1970, and we moved out here. And it was to teach people how to have a cottage industry and how to grow their own meat and vegetables, how we could
live alternatively from what we saw around us in our American culture. So we were the Back to the Landers. Remember that? You guys are too young, but we were part of that whole 1970s Back to the Landers thing. We need to know that we're part of a whole. We are individual organisms that we have to take care of what our spiritual and physical needs are. We have to be independent. We have to contribute. But we just have to know that we are not only giving back to the whole, but we are only able to live because we're part of the whole. And so what do we need to know? We need to know that we need to love ourselves and we need to love our neighbors. We need to be patient with each other. We need to be nurturing with each other, because when we divide and conquer, look what it gets us. None of that works. You know, you don't build walls. Whether you're on a border or walls, whether I'm here, I don't build a wall between my neighbor and myself. I work with them.
Tutu chinola we, hapaunare yoni, hanetwishe yame, hapaunare yoni. Hene yo we, tutu chinola we, hapaunare yoni, hanetwishe yame, hapaunare yoni. Hene yo we, tutumu yuyuawi, mekikome ye u, tekani piyuni, tekani yijuni, pamuni yari, pamuni wiweli. Hene yo we, tutumu yuyuawi, mekikome ye u, tekani piyuni, tekani yijuni, pamuni